What's up, guys? Crypto Muser here with your daily news and analysis in the crypto markets. Now, this graphic right here explains it all. Couldn't be a better graphic to really show you guys the ways XRP will be utilized as that bridge currency for global payments around the world. I mean, outside you have all the fiat currencies all around the world, right? You have Thai baht there, Brazil, Indonesia, USD, Euro, and you have XRP in the middle as that liquidity pool in the middle. So you can exchange money instantly, right? 3 to 5 seconds. These payments can be transferred. So this is an absolute game changer. And sometimes, I could explain it to you in so many words, but one graphic can really explain it all. And I just believe this is that graphic that really, is easy to understand, makes this much easier to understand, right? Payments is something that everybody can relate to. I believe everybody can say, they've wired money globally or they wired money even in this country. The process of wiring money and moving money, large amounts of money, is a painful process, right? We've all paid the fees. We've all, sometimes you have to physically go into the bank and fill out all the paperwork to do it. And there's no reason why this should be such a painful process. It should be very easy. The way we move information, the way we email, should be the same way we send value. And this is the game changer that I've always talked about on this channel with Ripple utilizing XRP as that bridge currency. And if you can really understand how global banking works and how the movement of money around the world works, this really changes everything, right? If there's if value moves around the world as fast as information does, I mean, that's truly going to change the world. Do you see the big picture, guys? You see what I'm saying here? So you see why I'm so, unbelievably, bullish on XRP and what they're doing, what Ripple's doing with XRP. I mean, I've researched this, I've been involved in researching XRP and Ripple for 4+ years now. I just see the benefits, right? I see where my money is going. When I invest in XRP, I know exactly what I'm investing in. Right. And I've invested, I'm definitely diversified. I own a lot of digital assets out there, but with XRP, I really see the use case, in the full picture around it. Right. And I always talk about the markets that XRP, with Ripple using XRP and what the markets they're going after. And they're $1 trillion markets here. Right. Global payments, right, is a 400 trillion plus market. That's serious, right? Trillions of dollars. That's a market that, I can believe in. I hope you guys can believe in too, right? So I know I sound, bullish on this channel a lot with XRP, but there's a reason behind that. It's because I see this as a game changer in the world of payments, right? So just wanted to open up with that, guys, but I'll get into the video. If you guys could please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below, it would be very much appreciated. But let's get right into it. So the first thing I want to show you guys is, so this is a clip that Wheezy X tweeted out, but Tony Edward at Thinking Crypto commented on it, and he said, "People think I've been too hard on the SEC and Gary Gensler, but the facts tell us what is happening. The SEC is rotten at its core, and Goldman Gary answers to JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs. Clayton and Hinman are great examples on how people at the SEC can be bought." Now listen to this. This is from, I believe, 2012, I want to say, but it talks about that revolving door within the SEC and the private and public sector, and how JP Morgan and Goldman Sachs are given this special treatment by the SEC and other regulators in this government, and how it's just blatantly corrupt. So let's just listen to this video real quick, and then we'll move on.
Please don't regulate my banks. And by the way, if you know what's good for you, we got a position for you here in a couple of years too. That's how this game is played. So let me show you all the wonderful goodies they got for their banks. So for example, there were 64 waivers that allowed companies to avoid new regulatory examinations. You don't need no stinking examinations, so you get those waivers. 35 of them were requested by former SEC employees that now work for the banks. They secured 40 waivers that allowed offending companies to continue selling small amounts of stock without registering it. Now, who needs to register stock when you got friends in high places? And 16 former SEC officials helped their new private sector employers continue to provide financial services that they would have been banned from supplying. Being banned, that's for guys who can't afford to bribe the guys that used to work at the SEC. No, 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 you guys aren't banned. And of course, the number one waivers that went most often was to the top banks, and it was to allow them to do things that they weren't normally supposed to do. And Huffington Post has a terrific story on this, and that's where a lot of these facts are from. And I want to give you a quote that they had as well about just one company, JP Morgan. Quote, since 2003, the SEC had granted exemptions to JP Morgan and its subsidiaries when they were charged with alleged misconduct relating to mortgage securities products, transactions with Enron, initial product offerings, and research analyst conflicts of interest. So all those different problems, you're exempt from all of it. Come on, you're hiring the guy from the SEC who's still friends with the other guy from the SEC who you're going to hire as soon as he leaves his job. This is sick, man. They're not doing any regulating over there. They're just figuring out how to rob us blind and get exemptions and waivers for it.
I mean, I just love that broadcast there. It's so true. It's just so blatantly corrupt, guys. And it's been for years. It's been happening for years. I think, with this lawsuit with XRP and Ripple, it's really opened our eyes to it, but, it's always been there. And, as much as we in the XRP community and all of crypto hate the fact that we have to deal with this lawsuit, I believe, honestly, I think it was a good thing because it's showing the corruption now. It's showing, the amount of people in the XRP community showing all the dirt surrounding the SEC and, government as a whole as being this corrupt, disgusting agency that obviously does not care about the people and the investors, and it only cares about the powers that be, JP Morgan, Goldman Sachs, these other big banks. I mean, like I said, I know it sucks dealing with this lawsuit, but it really is eye-opening and has opened my eyes to the level of corruptness within the government is unbelievable. I always knew it was there. I'm obviously not blind to the fact that, politics are in this country is so corrupt, but to a level, to this extent, maybe I was being, I had some hope for this country and the way things, we're, dealing with all this, but, it really is showing a level of corruption that I didn't even know was this deep, right? So it's pretty unbelievable. So along those same lines, the LBY CEO was on Fox Business yesterday, and if you guys haven't been following the channel, LBY is another cryptocurrency platform that the SEC has been, suing for almost the last 3 or 4 years now. But what LBY is it basically a alternative to YouTube that is, uncensored and decentralized, right? I thought it was a great idea for a company. By mentioning a YouTube competitor, I might get banned on this channel. Who knows, right? But I'm trying to get this information out to you guys. But anyway, the LBY CEO was on Fox Business yesterday talking about a deposition that he gave to the SEC yesterday. And, he really points out some things and how the SEC is going about business and suing LBY. And it's just an eye-opening interview here. And it's a 2-part interview. And I'm going to show you guys this just to show you how, crazy everything going on within the SEC is affecting all of us, right? So let's just hear this first part of the interview, and then I'll show you the second part too.
RP as an unregistered security has riveted the industry. But it's not the only firm that's battling regulators. Media company LBY, whose app runs on the blockchain, is also locked in a battle with the SEC. The firm operates a decentralized video sharing platform. It's called Odyssey. Joining me now is Jeremy Kaufman. He's the CEO of LBY. And Jeremy, you believe your case with the SEC could potentially set an even bigger precedent for the crypto industry, more so than Ripple's. Tell us why.
Absolutely. Well, first, our case is almost certainly going to be decided before Ripple's case. And the facts of our case are no different than tens of thousands of other blockchain companies and blockchain tokens. And in our case, we didn't even do an ICO. So there's really no facts in this case that are different from any number of blockchain tokens. If LBY is a security, then Ethereum is a security. So I think anyone who cares about the blockchain industry in the United States needs to be paying attention to this case, because if we lose, I think the entire industry is severely damaged in the U.S.
And the SEC seems to be really focusing on that word security in particular, because you sold the coin. It was about 6.2 million, and you used that for operating expenses. Is that their beef with you, or is it because they're saying that you need to classify what you're selling, the LBY coin, differently? Please explain that.
Well, let's be clear. If you have to register as a token as a security, you don't have a blockchain token. Okay, that means there's no ability for people to freely exchange it. It means I couldn't send you some without going through some special broker, right? It means I can't send you 5 cents without going to a special broker. It kills the entire thing. And what we've done is no different than Ripple. In fact, I love Ripple, but I think we've done things even less than what they did in terms of what they're accusing. And let's not act like there are rules here. The SEC is completely making this up as they go. They're taking a law from the 1940s that says nothing about blockchain, that doesn't apply in these circumstances whatsoever. This is a case in which there's no victim, there's no fraud. No one went to the SEC and said, hey, these guys did something wrong to me. And what they're doing is
Hold on, it continues on down here. Bear with me.
Said, hey, these guys did something wrong to me. And what they're doing is they're collecting all the facts. They're using all of their subpoena power. We spent millions of dollars giving them information over 4 years. And then, just like, someone throws the dart and then draws the bullseye around it, that's what they're doing. They're saying, oh, well, this set of facts makes it security. They can do this to absolutely anyone, and there's no facts that they've discovered that would be different from tens of thousands of other companies and tokens.
Well, and I know that, and you said that you have offered to pay back the SEC to get them off your back. You've offered to dissolve the company. Some extreme offers made to the SEC. They keep saying no. But you did give a deposition in the case yesterday. What can you tell us about that?
Well, I can tell you that the SEC is terrified of providing any standard that a company can meet in terms of the creation of a token. That's what they don't want to do. And this is an industry, the blockchain industry has been around for over 12 years. Everyone is scrutinizing one speech given 3 years ago that the SEC insists isn't even official. And this is insane. It's out of a Kafka novel that we as entrepreneurs have to guess what the rules are. And if you go in and you ask the government, I asked them again in the deposition, I say, hey guys, can you tell me anything? Can you give me any positive statements as to how a blockchain company can follow the U.S. law and have the same standard as Bitcoin and Ethereum?
Yeah.
They say, no, we can't tell you. And it's just an insane world. The deposition was boring. My lawyer said it's like watching paint dry. Okay, because there's nothing exciting.
Most of them are, Jeremy. Most of them are. We're about out of time. Please come back. Jeremy Kaufman. Fascinating story. Thank you.
What an interview, right? Just pointing out the inconsistencies of the SEC, right? They always point to this Hinman interview, right? Or the Hinman speech back in 2018 as guidance. But then when it's brought up in these 2 lawsuits, they call it Bill Hinman's personal opinion. It had nothing to do with the SEC, right? It's just, you can't have it both ways. And the fact that they're trying to railroad this company, this small company that didn't commit any fraud, there wasn't any impropriety here. They weren't trying to scam anybody. They were just trying to go about business, right? And you have the SEC basically trying to strong arm this company to drag them through this legal fight to put them out of business. This is not the way the SEC should be dealing with things. It's not the way that the government should be dealing with things. This is not creating a level playing field for small businesses out there. And it's a terrible look for the U.S. Right? All this is going to do, it's things like this regulation by enforcement is going to cause these companies to go elsewhere. They're going to go to other countries where they're treated fairly, right? So it's just terrible to see that the SEC keeps, doing what they're doing here. And what a great interview to really point out. And it's great for Fox Business to give this guy the platform to actually tell his story and tell people how the SEC is treating these companies. Unbelievable, right? So moving on. John Deaton gave an interview with J.W. Barrett. He was an advisor with the SEC for many years. Great securities and financial lawyer. He kind of just, when you watch this interview, he breaks down on how it's just so crazy, the fact that the SEC is going after a company like Ripple, meanwhile letting all these other bad actors, right? Ripple has not committed any fraud. They're not, scamming anybody. But meanwhile, you have all these other bad actors in the space, and the SEC kind of gives them, free reign to do what they want. And the fact that you have 65, I think it's now 66,000 XRP holders that are suing the SEC with John Deaton here just goes to show you that obviously the SEC does not care about investors if the actual investors they're claiming to protect are actually suing them. I mean, it's like we live in a backwards world, right? But let's just hear this interview real quick, and then we'll talk about it after. But let's just read actually James Rule XRP's tweet here. Listen up, SEC and Gary Gensler. XRP is not a security. 66,000 members of this community have proof. So let's just listen to it.
That common enterprise exists. He's eliminated one of the factors. For example, not just the solely factor, but he says if there's an expectation of profit. But as you know, the Howey decision says that an investment of money in a common enterprise and the promoter has led the people to believe, right? The word is led to believe an reasonable expectation of profits. And the issue there is, and I know because there's 65,000 XRP holders, and I have absolutely talked to thousands of them, believe it or not, through affidavits and things of that nature. And it turns out that the majority of first-time purchasers of XRP, they were aware of the term Ripple because Ripple and XRP was used interchangeably, but they were unaware of a software company or a company that sold software to banks called Ripple. And my question to you is, can you enter into a common enterprise if you are oblivious with that promoter and that common enterprise exists?
Well, under the vertical commonality, I don't think you can. You might be able to under horizontal commonality as it's understood now. But again, it's understood now in a way that's far beyond what the Supreme Court originally intended, I think. But yeah, I noticed that in your brief and your filings, and I thought it's incredible that never before has there been an SEC enforcement action where so many people, tens of thousands, how many is it that joined your amicus?
66,000.
66,000 people the SEC is purporting to protect. Say, don't protect me. That's it. That's incredible. And that speaks to just, case selection. Is this the right case to be spending your time on? There are real rug pulls, real Ponzi schemes, real frauds.
Agreed.
In that purport to be crypto that I don't think is legit crypto, and none of us who are mainstream crypto like or respect or want anything to do with. Why isn't the SEC spending its time there?
I mean, I say this so much, and when I talk to people about this, and when I make these videos, anybody involved in crypto knows that there's so many Ponzi schemes, there's so many rug pulls, there's so many fraudulent actors in this space, right? And the SEC that are supposed to protect us from these type of things do not do this. They do not protect us from those schemes. I don't see them going after these schemes at all. But then they use our tax-paying dollars to go after a company like Ripple or a company like LBY, companies that are not committing any fraud, that are not scamming anybody. It just irks me so much to think that this agency does not care about investors at all. And meanwhile, they're supposedly supposed to be the regulator that's supposed to protect us. And it's unbelievable. And he says it so right there. We have 66,000 people signed up in this lawsuit against the SEC. And you'd think you'd hear more about it, right? You'd think you'd hear about this type of thing on all the news agencies in this country, but you hear crickets. It's just unbelievable. It just goes to show that how much control the government has over the news and the media. And it's up to people like me and other people within the XRP community to give you the facts, to show you how corrupt and how blatantly wrong the SEC is going about doing what they're doing. So unbelievable. It just gets me worked up. This is the reason why I started this channel, because I wanted to get the information out to people, because I feel like even me, before I got into crypto, I didn't have this greater understanding of how the financial world worked, how money and currency works. And I just want to educate more people out there, because I felt like I was in that same boat before. So that's just the reason why I started this channel. So let's move on to the next thing, because that's just getting me worked up. So the next thing I want to show you guys is a tweet from John Deaton. And what he tweeted out was, I'll just read the tweet and I'll explain to you what he's talking about here. But here's the proof. In an email, Hinman tells his buddy at Simpson & Thacher that the ethics office is resisting him going to an ad hoc dinner if lawyers from Simpson & Thacher will be there. This is a dinner, right? No way Hinman cleared that speech that he gave in 2018, that gave Ethereum a free pass, with the ethics office knowing about the Ethereum Alliance. Now, what he's talking about here is an email that Empower Oversight is a government oversight agency that I've talked about on this channel that is suing the SEC, and finally, with suing the SEC, finally got the SEC to hand over these emails with William Hinman and Simpson & Thacher. So Simpson & Thacher is a law firm that Hinman worked for before at the SEC, and then he supposedly retired from that law firm, and then he joined the SEC. But while he was at the SEC, he was still getting paid by Simpson & Thacher in the total of $15 million, right? So he's getting paid $15 million while he's at the SEC by Simpson & Thacher, who is a partner with the Ethereum Alliance, right? And then when he leaves the SEC, he unretires and goes back to work with Simpson & Thacher. So what I'm talking about here is that while he's at the SEC, he's getting paid $15 million from this law firm. The ethics office has a problem with him even having dinner with Simpson & Thacher while he's at the SEC because, there might be some conflicts of interest there. So that's just a dinner. Meanwhile, do you think the ethics office knew he was getting paid $15 million from this law firm? And do you think that the ethics office would okay him giving a speech, giving Ethereum a free pass, and giving his law firm, Simpson & Thacher, obviously a benefit there? Because if they're highly invested in Ethereum, right? And obviously that speech definitely benefited Ethereum. You don't think that maybe there'd be some conflicts of interest there? You don't think the ethics office would have a problem with him giving this speech while he's getting paid $15 million from that law firm? I mean, this is why we need an investigation, guys. And the dirt that, John Deaton, other people in the XRP community within Twitter and other social media spaces, Empower Oversight, getting this information. There's some serious dirt we're digging up on the SEC and how they went about business, especially during Jay Clayton's administration with William Hinman here. So, this goes to show, obviously, if you're getting paid $15 million from this law firm, Simpson & Thacher, that is a direct, has a direct relationship with the Ethereum Alliance, represents the Ethereum Alliance, has a great interest in Ethereum. And then meanwhile, obviously, what were you getting paid that $15 million for? Obviously, this speech giving Ethereum the free pass surely benefited your buddies at Simpson & Thacher. Was that the reason why you were getting paid $15 million? These are the questions that need to be answered. Obviously, hopefully, we finally get a investigation when this is all said and done. It's just unbelievable the dirt we're getting up on everything going on here. So the next thing I want to show you guys is, actually, I'll show you this tweet first, because this is, Scott Chamberlain is replying to a tweet by Jay Chervinsky here. So Jay Chervinsky is what is he again? He's the head of policy at the Blockchain Association. Yeah. So Blockchain Association is a so-called advocacy group for crypto, right? And there's other agencies like the Blockchain Association out there that claim to be representatives of crypto as a whole. But they've shown time and time again that they only care about Bitcoin and Ethereum. When, obviously Ripple is getting attacked by the SEC or LBY is getting attacked by the SEC, you hear nothing from these agencies, right? Nothing from these associations that supposedly are supposed to represent all of crypto. But, when Bitcoin is attacked, when Ethereum is attacked, they're the first ones in line to stand up for crypto all of a sudden, right? So it's just shameful to see that these agencies do not care about crypto as a whole. There's 17,000 plus cryptos out there, guys. It's not just Bitcoin and Ethereum. So enough with this maximalism. This is the worst thing for crypto, is to have these so-called associations out there that are supposed to represent all of crypto, but they've shown that they do not care about crypto. They care about two cryptos, Bitcoin and Ethereum, right? So it's the worst thing for this space. So Jay Chervinsky tweeted this out. The novelty of cryptocurrencies requires novel regulatory policies, but the SEC still relies on a Securities Act of 1933. Obviously, they're talking about the Howey test. a fantastic paper on the SEC's inconsistent attempts to regulate crypto from my Blockchain Association colleague, Sarah Milby. So this is a whole article that the Blockchain Association put out there, talking about the SEC's inconsistent attempts to regulate crypto and using the Howey tests and all this BS, right? Not one mention of Ripple, not one mention of LBY. Obviously, those two cases have a lot to do with all of crypto. You'd think that they want to talk about these things, right? But they do not. And it's just painful to see these things. So in reply to this tweet and to this article, Scott Chamberlain put this out there. Wow, a full paper on the SEC's regulatory uncertainty without mentioning XRP or the SEC versus Ripple case? That's quite an eye-popping omission for the U.S. Crypto Industry Association. Does the Blockchain Association only represent blocks and not ledgers? I mean, it's just... how do you call yourself a blockchain advocacy group when you don't represent all of blockchain? You might as well call yourself the Ethereum and Bitcoin advocacy group. There's special interest groups. They care about Bitcoin and Ethereum. It's just painful to see because this is the last thing this space needs is more maximalism, right? So obviously have no respect for those agencies and those associations. So the last thing I want to talk about here on this video, this is a tweet from Eleanor Tourette. She is the Fox Business reporter that has been covering the Ripple case, for a while now, and she's actually educating herself. She just took a crypto online course just to better educate herself on the space. I just think that's such a good message to send to other reporters and people in this space that want to, if you're going to report on this space, if you're going to have comments on this space, you should educate yourself, right? So just great to see, great sign that she took this crypto course. She's trying to educate herself in the space so she can better cover as a reporter the crypto asset class as a whole, right? So she tweeted this out. Latest from Federal Reserve Chair Jerome Powell on crypto. Existing regulations were not built with digital currencies in mind. There will have to be new rules, laws, and frameworks to deal with digital currencies. Now, to hear Jerome Powell say this should be, a kick in the ass of the SEC. You can't use the Howey test from 1933 to regulate cryptocurrencies. How can you do that, right? Obviously, when they wrote the Howey test, or when they, set that precedent back in 1933, they did not think about cryptocurrencies and digital currencies in the future. So how do you use that as framework to regulate the space? You can't, right? You have to come out with real rules and regulations for this new asset class, right? And the fact that you have the SEC out there basically not trying, they don't want to give us rules. They don't want to give us any guidelines to go by. They want to use enforcement. They want to basically leave it so broad, right? And leave it so, just have a gray area out there where they can attack anybody, right? They can go after any company as they please, because if there aren't any guidelines or rules, then, how are companies supposed to, work within the framework, right? This is what, in that interview with Jeremy Kauffman with LBY was talking about. He asked the SEC repeatedly, are there any rules that give us any guidelines that go by that we can be in line and do this in a legal way? And the SEC said, nope, sorry, we have no guidelines to give you. We'll just let you know if you're doing something illegal, right? Just do what you're doing, and then, later on, we'll just tell you if it's illegal after you've already done it, and then we can sue you and put you out of business. Come on, guys. Obviously, that's no way to do something, right? There's no way to regulate this space. And, finally you're seeing, Congress, you're seeing Jerome Powell make a statement here. It's time, CFTC, it's time for any other agency but the SEC to finally, put some real ideas forward and to regulate this space. Because the SEC is obviously showing us the exact opposite way to do it, right? If there's anything the SEC is doing right, is they're showing how this should not be done, right? So, unbelievable. I could talk about how I hate the SEC for hours on this channel, but I will just, quit while I'm ahead in this video for now. Just remember to please like, subscribe, and leave a comment down below. Just remember, I'm not a financial advisor. Please do not take anything I write or say as financial advice. This is for educational purposes only. And thanks, guys, and we'll see you on the next one.